Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I have gotten past the point where I care what I look like in these videos. I used to care like, oh, how wide do I look and do I look really big? And I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm almost 9 months pregnant. We are 35 weeks today and I don't really care anymore. There's obviously a child in my belly. No longer looks like I'm just like a little chubby there. It obviously looks like there's a kid in my belly. So don't really care. But I wanted to bring y'all today my 32 week to 34 week pregnancy update. This is where I understand that a lot changes in 2 weeks because I almost did a 32 week and a 33 week update, and I may from now on do a weekly update because a lot has changed and it feels like things just keep changing. As you can see, I'm still in my normal spot. I am planning on filming her nursery tour this week because it is like 2 things from being done. I have to hang something on the wall and then I have to do something with some decal stickers. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but that video should be coming out extremely soon, as well as my hospital bag video, baby's hospital bag video, and then I want to go ahead and pre-record some videos too. So we're going to be very busy these next couple days, but it's all for good cause. So let's get right into it. Week 32 through week 34. The biggest thing is I am exhausted all the time, so tired, taking a nap like every single day, although I did not take a nap today. But I did get some good sleep last night. I'll talk about that in just a second. But I nap like every single day. I wake up at weird times in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, and so then I'm up for a couple hours and then I'm taking a nap in the morning. I feel like a newborn because I'm sleeping at weird times and awake at weird times, and I guess it's just getting me ready for when she's here, because a lot of the times when I'm awake, she's awake. So we'll be awake together, I guess. The other thing is my hips hurt so badly. Like, I thought I had hip pain before. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, I definitely have, like, if I didn't have the pregnancy waddle down before, I definitely have it down now. And now I really can't help it. I couldn't help it before. It was like a little bit of a waddle. Now it's like I look like a penguin because my hips, they just hurt so badly. Between my hips and my lower back, I'm just like pained in this area, which is totally understandable because that's where she hangs out and that's where all that weight is. So also, I think my hips are still technically widening for delivery and for the big labor event, but I don't know that for sure. That could just be the fact that she's sitting right there. So vivid dreams, still a thing, have been a thing, but they are so realistic. It got to the point where there's a lady in my Zumba class and her daughter, this is kind of a long story, but her daughter was one of my students when I was an advisor at Texas State for nursing students. And so the past couple weeks when I've gone to Zumba class, I usually like slip in the back, and sometimes I get called out. Like, they'll say things like, are we gonna have a baby today? And it's always kind of embarrassing because I just really want to do some Zumba. Everybody turns around and looks, but anyway, not the point. I see her in that Zumba class all the time and I always think to myself, oh, I wonder how her student is doing. And I had a dream the other night that I had gone to Zumba class and she came up to me and let me know that her student had gotten to a certain nursing school that she'd been wanting to get into, and I was so excited for her because she was one of my students that came in to see me a lot. And I woke up and like went about my day, and it just so happened that the next day was Zumba class. So I was like, oh, I cannot wait to talk to her and ask her how excited her student is to get into class. And then I realized, wait a minute. I don't think I actually had that conversation with her. I think that was in a dream, but it was so realistic. I mean, down to we were in the same Zumba room, like we were both in workout clothes. It was so strange. So we may have had that conversation, but I'm like 99.999% sure that was in my dream. So we went to the doctor on Monday, we as in the baby and I. Robbie's going to start going to my doctor's appointments next week so that he'll go like to the every week appointments in case something big happens, like they tell me I'm dilated or they want to induce or something to do with my blood pressure. Oh, that's another thing I should talk about. My blood pressure is totally fine. I think I talked about it in the last pregnancy update. I went to the doctor and they're like, your blood pressure is too high. You need to be on a low sodium diet. My blood pressure has been fine the past probably week and a half. It was fine at the doctor on Monday, so they're not worried about it anymore, which is a plus. It's a good thing, but also the first thing they told me when they were like, oh, your blood pressure is kind of high, they said, oh, sometimes we induce 2 weeks like before your due date because of high blood pressure. So I was kind of excited about the possibility of getting to meet her a little bit sooner, but obviously you don't want to have high blood pressure. So everything's fine. my blood pressure is fine. Everything was great. I ended up seeing a new doctor this week because my doctor was out of the office for a while, and I really enjoyed her. Like, she was very, very nice, very different from my OB. My OB is super laid back, comes in, checks the baby's heartbeat, checks my fundal height, and then he's like, any questions? No? Okay, cool, see you later. And he's super nice, but he's just like, he's a guy, you know, he's a dude. He's super laid back, super chill, not much phases him. This nurse practitioner that I saw was kind of the opposite, but in a good way. She was asking me lots of questions. She was giving me lots of information about like preterm labor and any labor signs that I may be having and what might be going on in the next couple weeks, what was going to happen at my next appointment. So she was really, really cool. And one of the things that she said is, she asked me, how are you feeling? And I said, I feel really good. I just feel like she's sitting on my hips. And because I have all this hip pain. And she's like, well, she may have, you know, she may have dropped some. And one thing that Robbie and I have kind of noticed is my tummy looks like it's a little bit lower. And when I went to Zumba the other day, this was confirmed because we do a lot of like leg lifts and knee lifts, and it was a little harder than normal, but I could breathe a lot better. I found myself like getting through the workout a lot easier because I had more lung space. So I definitely think that she has dropped. But at my doctor's appointment on Monday, she said, okay, go ahead and lay back. She took my fundal height. Everything was perfect. Baby is exactly as big as she should be, or at least my fundal height is as big as she should be. But she has the hiccups right now. Or I thought she did at least. Maybe not. Anyway, so she felt around and she was like, oh yeah, her head is right there and it feels like she's pretty low. She's dropping into the birth canal. And I was like, oh my gosh, because we had just taken a childbirth class on Saturday. And you know, they talk about like the great descent of where the baby goes, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious. So I had not packed my hospital bag at that point. I had not finished the nursery at that point. Robbie hasn't packed his hospital bag. I hadn't packed the baby's hospital bag. So I was like, maybe we should really get started on that kind of thing. So my hospital bag is now packed. The nursery is pretty much finished. I have everything pulled out that's going to go in the baby's bag. Robbie's going to pack. Everything's going to be fine. But it definitely was kind of a wake-up call, like, hey, this baby may not make it to 40 weeks. Now watch, she'll probably keep us all like waiting until 40 weeks or 41 weeks. Honestly though, my doctor will do an induction at 39 weeks if that's something that you want. And at this point, I think I'd be like, yeah, let's do it, cool. Number one, because I'm just so excited for her to finally be here. Number two, because I'm just ready to not be pregnant anymore. That sounds so selfish and I hate that because I wanted this for so long and I was so excited when we first got pregnant, but I am just ready for the big event. I'm ready for it. Robbie and I went to a newborn class on Sunday and that was so much fun. I let Robbie do a lot of things because Robbie is really new to the baby world. I don't have a baby, but I've obviously been babysitting and nannying and working in nurseries since I was 10 years old. So a lot of stuff, like I know how to change a diaper, I know how to dress a baby, but things like swaddling I didn't know how to do. So our instructor was super nice. She let us all do it. She gave us multiple tries to do certain things. And Robbie even told me later on that night or the next day that he was more excited to have a baby now, that he felt like he wasn't completely clueless to things. Of course, we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to learn once she's born and she's here and we learn her personality, but it is good to have a little bit of preparation, I think. Okay, so I figured I would talk about this just a little bit. Everyone is freaking out about the coronavirus. And to be very frank with you and very honest, I'm not. The only thing I'm freaking out about is the fact that there's no toilet paper. They're running out of all kinds of things, proteins, chicken breast, veggies. And I'm like, well, this sucks because I was supposed to postpartum meal prep next week. So I'm going to have to find like a local grocery store or something and get all the stuff that I need so that I can do that. But to be honest with you, I'm just really not worried about the coronavirus. They say there's not an increased risk to pregnant women. As far as I know, there's no confirmed cases in New Braunfels. So I really am not super freaked out about that. Maybe that makes me a bad mom. Maybe that makes me ill-informed, but I just think it makes me more positive and not quite as like freaked out as other people. So I'm just sitting back and letting whatever happens happen. Okay, so that's about it for me. Like I said, I think I want to start doing weekly updates because different things will start happening, especially when we start going to the doctor every single week. Hopefully she'll start to like move down even more. Maybe we'll start to dilate. I definitely have been feeling Braxton Hicks. I've had a lot today. I usually have like, I think I've maybe had like 1 or 2 past couple days, but today I had a bunch of them. I was on my way to go pick up our dinner and it just kept happening, and I was like, I wonder if that's a Braxton Hicks, because it's like a tightening at the very lower part of my stomach, and like kind of where like you feel like a period cramp, which is what I've been told that that's what that feels like. So I think those are Braxton Hicks, and if that's the case, I had several today, but none that lasted very long or were consistent or didn't go away when I moved sides. So I know it's not like contractions. So let's talk a little bit about what baby is looking like and doing this week. So it says you are 35 weeks pregnant, you're in your 3rd trimester, and you're currently 8 months pregnant, in your 8th month of pregnancy. This is her size this week. So I love this app. This is the Pregnancy Plus app, because you can push the ruler down at the bottom and it'll show you like if she was actually here, this is how big she would be. And so I love it. Supposedly she's 18.66 inches this week, and I think she probably is going to be pretty long, which is surprising because neither Robbie and I are like super tall, but my family is. And then she's supposed to be 5.78 pounds, which, oh my gosh, that is so crazy. I remember when she hit like 1 pound and I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, she's a pound, she's a pound. Now she's almost 6 pounds. Jeez Louise. It says, this week, the protective fat layer will make up about 15% of your baby's weight at birth. Your baby's gums have ridges that look a bit like teeth, and your baby's cheeks are developing fat. The cheek muscles are also developing, creating that lovely chubby appearance. I hope she's a chubby baby. I would love for her to be like 8 pounds, because I just think it would be so cute. This, one thing I don't love about this app is it doesn't show you a new like size comparison every single week. So I may have shown you this last week, but this week, according to this app, she is the size of cotton candy or a lion cub. That's super crazy to think about. Or she's the size of a honeydew melon, which actually we had at childbirth class this weekend. According to my other app, What to Expect When You're Expecting, they actually say the exact same thing as far as what the baby is doing this week, but they compare her to the size of a spaghetti squash or the big plate of spaghetti from Lady and the Tramp, or lastly, a moderately successful game of Jenga. This has got some really interesting things to like compare it to. Not just like fruit or a veggie or something like that. So that is baby this week. I think that's all I have as far as updates this week. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting us on this journey. I talked about this in my last video, but I think I have come to the conclusion that we will be starting a second channel. This channel will continue to stay or go back to anything health, recipe related, program related, that I coach for, also my weight loss journey postpartum, and then I'm gonna make a new channel called Simply Sarvis, which will be anything family related. So that's where you'll get to meet the little baby who has a beautiful name that I cannot wait to share with y'all. My plan is to publish the video that I'm in labor, so there'll be a pre-recorded video that says I'm in labor, so that when you see that, you'll know, like, send your prayers, send your thoughts, we are going in to have the baby, and then once she's born, I will publish her name video, so that it gives me some time to do the birth vlog the way I want to, but also I'm not leaving y'all hanging on, you know, what her name is. So that is my plan. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me and for supporting Robbie and of course this baby. But until next time, I want to thank you guys so much. I love you all and God bless you.